donkey, she cocky, I'm ballin' that side. I do not have to clock it, it one in the head, I do not have to cock. Try spot in the projects, I made in my office. We deep in it, bitch, burning cake in this fire. Got Carters and cafes, I'm drinking on coffee. When I hit the east, I get treated like Gandhi. Keep us my circle, these niggas get mixed. Need some more riders, I'm trying to get busy. I need some more flour, I need about 50. To find a real nigga, I fit the description. Cartier bifocals with the prescription. Know about the growing shit, I don't have a wisdom. Count over 80 by watching the Simpsons. 100 by bet on Lamar and the Ravens. We super strong niggas, ran and Ravens. Stealing for cows, we push up and take it. Plug on deliver, he personally bring it. You need 100, then I can arrange it. Fucking on popular bitches who famous. Crib out a million with 30K base. Before we gon' swipe, we gon' cover our face. Slide for that bag, then it's off to the race. C4 with growers, I know. Walk in my trap and get slapped with a boat. Ain't got no love for no thought or no hope. He'll put that fight to a robber, I know. Yeah, I know. Ride with the cannon, I let the bitch blow. We haven't rest and it bitches, you slow. That boy be putting that shit on, I know. Ain't got no love for a snake, you get murdered. Youngest with me, they gon' crash like a server. Them niggas throwed off, you know they berserkers. Weighing the Play-Doh while eating a burger. Go hit the east, I get treated like Trump. Son 30 pounds of the shrooms to the gump. Big money hit the rotunda for lunch. Put the test to his diamonds, it probably a flunk. Louis, New York, I get sent to the back. Exclusive drip, this is not on the rack. You smell this shit, boy, come out the vat. Used to give ball niggas shout out the sack. This shit is falling, zoom in on these diamonds. These niggas jealous, they hate it, we shining. Shopping in Frisco, I'm 49, I'm with a thick hoe, getting saliva. They tried to kill me, but I'm a survivor. Nigga try to steal me, I'm tapping his visor. This is a Cullinan, this not a Chrysler. I'm out in Zona with peace over Kyla. Shopping in Denver, right in the Shador. Rich nigga hit the grow house in Dior. Binary trigger gon' shoot like a fully. These niggas pussy remind me of Sookie. Before with growers, I know. Walk in my trap and get slapped with a boat. Ain't got no love for no thought or no hope. He'll put that fight to a robber, I know. Yeah, I know. Ride with the cannon, I let the bitch blow. We haven't rest and they bitches, you slow. That boy be putting that shit on, I know. Before with growers, I know. Walk in my trap and get slapped with a boat. Ain't got no love for no thought or no hope. He'll put that fight to a robber, I know. Yeah, I know. Ride with the cannon, I let the bitch blow. We haven't rest and they bitches, you slow. That boy be putting that shit on, I know.
Warning: the following content contains strong language and may not be suitable for children. This content is primarily for adults, as this is a trucking channel and truckers have filthy mouths. Please don't tweak if I say viewer discretion is advised.
Sweet.
What is going on? How's everybody doing? How is everybody doing? Come on in. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Let me know where you guys are checking in from. I had to add a little disclaimer. I found out people is watching old Marky Mark with the kids. All right. So I don't want to be responsible, if I start saying some bad words. You know what I'm saying? Once upon a time when I first started the channel, I didn't say bad words, right? I was, I was, kind of boring, just straight educational, and it was kind of boring. And then, someone said, Mark, you talking to truckers, man. Truckers have filthy mouths. If you don't loosen your ass up a little bit, man, just go in there and be yourself. Talk to these guys like you would sit and talk to us. I said, you know what? I said, you right. God damn it. And that's when we took the channel in another direction, which was about April of last year. So, if you are watching the channel and you got your kids, if you see me going into you dig what I'm saying? If you see that Chi-Town coming out, if you see that west side or that southeast side starting to come up out of me, and it sounds like you walking into a truck stop, and you got the kid on the big screen, or you in the family room watching the kid, and we finna go into one of those, you dig what I'm saying, that might be the perfect time to go ahead and get the kids up out the room or change the channel. You dig what I'm saying? So come on in, make sure you guys hit that like button. Let me know where you checking in from. I see we got the MGMs in the building. Shout out to all the MGMs. Jonathan, it's D Wall, D Jenkins, C Express, J Fresh, what's going on? J Cole, 24K, Costas, Brian Webb, a lot of MGMs in the building. It's a lot of MGMs. Kelvin Birch, what's going on? Texas in the building. Shyrick, Missouri in the building. Big Herm, South Louisiana. Shout out to all the moderators in the building. Sean Prince in the building. What's good? What's good? What's good? What is good? Jordan, what's good? St. Louis, what's good? What has Kelvin got going on here? Guys, amazing. It's been 48 days homeless. I've been blessed. Me and my wife was in a new apartment last night. I appreciate you, Mark, for the motivation, confidence. Thank you all, MGFs. Congratulations. Congratulations on the new apartment. I told you everything was going to work out for you. Didn't I tell you it was all going to work out? It's all good. Jonathan, what's going on? Sean, checking in from Tennessee. Great Polo, what's going on? Andrew Green. Don Beasy. Fresno, California, building. Kobe, what's good? What's good? Ken Hooten, what's good? What's good? Ohio in the building. Bolingbrook is in the building. Bolingbrook is a suburb outside Chicago, so for that, you get a James A. represents Chicago. Another. And D Jenkins, New Jersey in the building. What is going on? What is going on? All right, so got a good show for you guys tonight. And I'm going to keep it brief. I am going to keep it brief because I'm telling you, man, I had to give me a trainer again, man. I got a little visceral fat that I'm trying to get rid of right under, little pocket right under the belly button. So I had to get a trainer to just, target that area so I can have that summer body. You dig what I'm saying? Because I think I might go ahead and put them tank tops on this summer. You dig? I'm going to put them tank tops on this summer. So come on in because the boy is sore and he's tired. So we're going to make this quick because I don't know how long I could sit up here. All right, so boom. We're going to talk about this economic update. Some of the stuff I talked about in the members only live streams. Jay Powell, it wasn't a Fed talking session the other day, but he did have a televised meeting with the guy from Canada that runs everything up in Canada as far as the budget and all that stuff. And basically, from the last time he talked until now, things are kind of similar. But he did say, they're confident that for right now, rates aren't going to get raised, even though the economy is not softening up, right? People are spending money. They're finding it. They're spending it. He said, but they're confident for the current time, they're not going to raise rates. But on the flip coin, he said they're going to have to keep rates where they're at now longer, right? So not going to go up, not going to go down. We're going to stay at the rates longer, which reiterates what I've been saying, all right? Get used to the way things are, all right? 3 rate cuts, I'm willing to bet we will not get 3 rate cuts this year. Jay Powell is going to have to walk them words back. He's going to have to put his foot in his mouth for saying that because it is not looking good. If any, I see one, if any. All right. We're coming into the summertime. I think more money is going to get spent in the summer, traveling, things of that nature. I really don't see it. Unemployment is robust. It's strong, right? Which, you know what? I say this. I think they're propping the numbers up. I think they're lying to us. I'm just going to keep it funky. I think they're lying. I think they're propping the numbers up because the job economy is robust, right? Unemployment is not going up, which you would want it to, right? You would want it to. As crazy as it sounds, that is the next phase after inflation to soften the economy, to kind of get things back to normal, 2%, right? So with the job economy being robust, I went ahead and I looked at job openings. Now, here's the tricky thing. See, this is how they trick you. There aren't any job openings. There's not that many job openings, right? So the job market is strong, but there's not a lot of new jobs coming into the market, right? So it's something there. I'm going to look more into it. Quiet is kept. I really think we're in a recession. The economy is I think it's worse than what they're putting out. The information that they're putting out, I think, is worse. You saw, and we talked about this in the members only live stream the other day. If you look at the CEO of JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, right? Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan, 20 years with the company, has never sold any shares of his company stock, right? Obviously, he's the CEO. He gets a pay, salary. He gets issued shares of the stock, right? 20 years, never sold, right? In the past couple months this year, and the other day, he sold 1 million shares, right? To me, that's alarming. I always follow the money, right? Right? So Jamie Dimon, CEO of Chase, sells 1 million shares of stock. It kind of raises a red flag to me. I'm still looking into it to kind of understand why, but to me, 20 years, why now, right? There are some layoffs you see in tech. Google just laid off a decent amount of people. Tesla laid off a good amount of people. Since the last live stream, right after the last live stream, the very next day, you guys saw what broke out between Israel and Iran. All right. Then it went into Saturday. Then there's been retaliations, and the markets have crashed. Right, which isn't good either, right? Because with war, especially when we're putting our nose into things, it brings FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, right? And people that have money tend to hold on to it because of that uncertainty, right? Inflation is not easing, obviously, because the job market is robust and people are spending money. That's why the Fed can't lower the rates. So he just kind of reiterated what I've been saying, and it is what it is now. Get accustomed to the way things are. My advice, if you are a box truck business owner, if you're in trucking, if you have a cargo van business, my advice, things are expensive. If you haven't had to take your truck into to get it repaired in a while, or your cargo van, I would be mindful of that. Labor is probably going to hit you for more than you went in the last time. The parts are going to be more. All right. I want you to be mindful of these things. If I were you, I would be busting my behind. I wouldn't be, slacking off. I would be working until I can't work no more. If you're in a cargo van, if you're an over the road box trucker, I would work till the law says I can't anymore. I would be maxing out as much as I can. If you are in curbside or big and bulky or moving, I don't think now is the time to be turning anything away. I think now is the time to turn up. I know we talked about work, how people say, oh, why are you working? And we talked about that last week. I really don't want to dive into it, but if you had to work, if anytime you did have to work, now is that time, right? Now is that time for a couple of different reasons. Why? One is because everything is higher, inflation is higher. I don't know if you guys have been to the grocery store, you know what I'm saying? But food is higher. Labor for your trucks is going to be higher. The parts are going to be higher. We saw this in the inflation report from the live stream from a week or two ago, right? Another reason why you want to make as much money as possible is because you want to have cash on hand. You want to have cash on hand. Come on in and hit that like button. All right. Come on in and hit that like button. my thoughts, these are my thoughts, and it may not go this way, but eventually Jerome Powell is going to have to do something. I think, this is what I think. I think we just let the economy collapse, go into a full-blown out recession, stop trying to prop it up. Let's get this show on the road so we can get back to, bullish activity. The sooner the better to me. All right. We could have been all in the thick of this thing already. I think, the soft landing, I don't see it happening. 5% is high, but it's not enough. It's not high enough to slow people down. People are going to do what they want to do. They're finding ways to do it. All right. They may not be spending the money on things that you may need them to spend it on, but the things that they want to spend it on, they're finding the extra income to do it. All right. Eventually, I think we're just going to have to let this thing go. So the reason why I say work, so you can have extra cash on hands, because when the economy does collapse, which I'm thinking it does, and kind of, I'm kind of hoping it does. If you do have cash on hand, you will be able to purchase things at a deep discount. All right. So you want to be prepared for it. You don't want, and I'm not saying the housing market is going to collapse, just the economy in general. I mean, if you look at what happened last Friday and Saturday, the markets tanked. The markets tank. Whenever there's FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, the economy collapses. All right. And whenever the economy collapses, that's when you want to have cash on hand, because history always shows that whenever there's an economic collapse, we go to all-time highs, right? Right afterwards, right? So things come all the way down, unprecedented lows. And then shortly after that, 4 to 6 weeks, you start to see things go up and they reach all-time highs. All right. So this is very, very important. All right. This is gems. This is sauce. All right. This is how you create multiple streams of income and possibly create generational wealth, by thinking not like a consumer. All right. You may not be the 1%, but you have to think like the 1%. When I see the CEO of one of the largest, if not the largest bank in America, selling shares, that raises an eye, raises an alarm. And he's not the only one that's doing it. People are sourcing cash, and they're sourcing it for a reason. There's a lot of manipulation going on out there right now. You always have to follow the money. If you follow the money, you can't go wrong. All right. So wherever there's opportunity at for your box truck, whatever sector you're in, whatever lane you're in, now is the time to buckle down. All right. If I were you and I were in the box truck, I wouldn't be planning any frivolous anything. I wouldn't be taking any trips. I wouldn't be doing any excess frivolous shopping. No trips to Louis, no trips to Gucci if that's your thing. No trips, vacations. I probably have to sacrifice that. Whatever you deem frivolous, all right? I would probably hold off on that, because that excess cash, that excess money may come in handy for an investment that could potentially change your life. All right. So I just want you guys to think about that. Whatever sector you're in, whatever lane you're in, now's the time to really buckle down and work. All right. Work is the key. Work is the key. Come on in, guys. Make sure you guys hit that like button. All right. So boom. Now, lately I've been getting asked a lot of questions in my DM. All right. But one of the main questions I'm seeing, a trend that I'm getting asked lately, is how to charge. All right. So a lot of people I see are going out there and they're sourcing their own customers. They're like, forget the 3PLs, forget the load boards, forget this, that, and the third, because I'm seeing a trend of people, hey, Mark, how do I charge for moving? How do I charge customers for big and bulky? How do I charge this 3PL? How do I charge for curbside? I have an opportunity, but they want a price, right? Because most times you're just, used to going to a 3PL and they're telling, look, we're going to pay you this, that, or the third, take it or leave it, so on and so forth. But people have been watching Mark, and they've been implementing a lot of the strategies that I've been talking about over the years. And now people are actually implementing that stuff. Why? Because a lot of people are going through it. There's a lot of back against the wall scenarios right there. All right. It's a lot of back against the wall scenarios. I know what the market looks like. You guys are out there in it, and you guys are taking this information and you're starting to apply it. So kudos to you for doing that. So tonight I am going to give you I'm going to talk to you guys about how to charge, right? All right. We're going to go through the steps of charging, because some of you don't necessarily know how to charge for each lane. I'm not going to cover OTR because I don't do OTR. All right. So we're going to talk about moving. We're going to talk about curbside, and we're going to talk about big and bulky. All right. So come on in. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Let me know where you guys are checking in from. I think I want to start with moving first. So go ahead and get that out the way. A lot of people have been interested in moving. It's moving season, and it's a lot of money to be made. All right. So boom. Let's get into it. All right. Let's get into it. All right. So boom. All right. So Mark, how do you charge a customer for moving? All right. And it's simple. All right. All right. So I'm not going to go over your costs. I was thinking about, doing mock costs and things like that, but I'm not going to do that, right? Because I don't want to be on here all night. I'm going to make this really, really simple. You guys know what your costs are. All right. You know what your costs are. I'm going to give you the scale, all right, for moving. Now, if you are running, under the table, you're just getting started, you're not licensed yet, you're just trying to get your feet wet to see what this business is like, all right, that's fine. So let's talk about it from that perspective, all right? So here's how you charge. The first thing you need to understand is labor. All right, labor. All right. So with moving, you're going to charge per man. All right. So you're going to charge per man. All right. Per man. Now, what you charge per man all depends on your market, pretty much. Right. Now, I can give you the average cost today per man is about $50 per man. Right. But you also have to do your market analysis, right? You need to see what the competition is charging, right? So the best way to see what the competition is charging, I'm gonna give you two ways. One, you can go on Thumbtack, because you need to be on Thumbtack anyway, because that's how you're gonna get your leads, right? Go on Thumbtack, see what the people in your area are charging, right? And then you want to put yourself somewhere in the middle, right? If you're really, really on the new and you don't have any experience, you might want to put yourself a little bit lower than the middle, because you do have to compete. You want to get out there, get you some reviews up, and then you have to understand that you don't have the experience. All right. So you can't charge a customer a premium rate if you don't have the experience, because you have to go into it understanding that, listen, I may damage something, right? You want to set your price point for a consumer that probably doesn't have really nice furniture, right? The cheaper you go, the lower grade customer you're going to get, right? If I see somebody charging $50 an hour for two men, let's say, and I'm looking to move, me personally, I'm not going to hire them. I'm going to see that ad and I'm going to blow right past it, right? Because I don't want a $50 an hour mover coming into my crib moving my nice furniture, right? But let's say I was a college student, or let's say I was a yuppie, right? Young urban professional, and I got a lot of hand-me-down furniture. I got a lot of thrift store furniture. My dresser and my chest is scratched to hell anyway. Or let's say I got a dog or a cat and they've been scratching on it. My couch is one of those couches that's not real leather, one of those couches that it look like it's fake leather, it's vinyl, and then after a while it start peeling. Let's say I got one of those couches, it's peeling. A bunch of Target plastic tote dresser type things. Now, if I had shit like that, it tells you something. One, I don't really got bread like that, right? Because if I had bread, I wouldn't have no hand-me-down ass shit in my crib, right? So I'm looking for an economical move. I'm looking for a move to come throw my shit in the truck. I don't need you to wrap shit. Just take the shit, throw it in the truck. Don't wrap shit. No. Just throw it in the truck. Scratch, I don't care. We need to get this shit. You said 2-hour minimum. We need to get it done in 2 hours. All right. That may be the type of customer that you're looking for, right? Because they're not going to care if you scratch or damage their shit because their shit is already scratched and damaged to begin with. That's the customer that you want to learn with. You don't want to come in a person who's already established, who has a $9,000 living room set, who has a $6,000 OLED TV, OLED TV, right? You don't want to go in that person's crib, right? Because you're not trained, you're not skilled enough. You probably don't even have the right moving equipment to move a customer with furniture like that yet, or the skill to know how to wrap that stuff, pad it, and even pack it and load it on the truck, right? So if you're just getting started out on the new, you might want to place yourself somewhere between $75 to $100 an hour if you're on the new, right? And when I say new, meaning no experience whatsoever, all right? Somewhere between $75 to $100 an hour. Now, that's for 2 guys, right? Now, if you're coming in and you have somewhat, and this is on the new, we're going to put on the new. Now, if you coming in and you got some intermediate experience, you've done some moves before, or you've already been doing it and you need a better price, you don't really know what to charge because you didn't go back and watch the old content. Well, I told you what to charge and how to charge. I'm going to tell you now. So let's say you start moving, you follow the channel, you got into moving last year, all right? You got somewhat of experience, right? About a year experience. You want to be somewhere between 100 and 125 an hour for 2 men. All right. Now you can pick and choose where you want to be at in that scale. 110 an hour for 2 guys, 115 an hour for 2 guys, 100 an hour for 2 guys, 105, 120, 125, whatever you want to do. All right. I would base it on the competition in your market, right? So that's pretty much the average nationwide right now for 2 guys. Now, there are companies that charge $100 a man, but you're not at that level, right? You're not at that level. You don't have to pay the tariffs. You're not regulated by your state. So those rates aren't for you. If you're running under the table, you're just getting started, you're on thumbtack, you're on Yelp, you're trying to get your feet wet, you got, word of mouth, you're going out to the storage facilities, you're handing out your business card, you put a few flyers on the board at the storage facilities, and you start getting these calls. This is your price point. Never put your prices on your flyer. All right. If you do print a small batch of flyers, never put your prices on your flyers. Ever. Don't ever do it. All right. Come up with some type of marketing, your slogan, a nice visual, but never put your prices on your flyer. All right. Now, this would be for moves equivalent to a few items to a 2-bedroom. All right. I would recommend 3 guys for a 2-bedroom, but if you got 2 guys and you're just getting your feet wet and you are really willing to work, right? Because it's just you and the other guy, you got to do a 2-bedroom. Here's your price points for 2 guys and for the task, right? Boom. Now, this is anywhere from a cargo van to a 16-foot box truck, right? Obviously, you can fit a 2-bedroom in a 16-foot box truck depending on how big and how much stuff their 2-bedroom apartment is, all right? And also how skilled you are with packing. All right. If you're a very skillful packer, you can fit an average 2-bedroom in a 16-foot box truck. Deeming you are a skilled packer, you got to really know how to pack. All right. All right. So that's how you charge. And pardon my handwriting too. That's how you charge for 2 men moving. Now, someone asked me recently, Mark, what if I just want to do labor only? These are labor rates, right? These are the rates for labor. So even if you don't have a truck and you say, yo, I want to start a labor only moving company, right? Which you don't have to go through the requirements of the licensing for starting a labor only moving company as you would for starting a moving company with a truck. With a truck, you got to get the FMCSA, you got to get the household goods federal license, you have to get your household goods state license, right? Hit the like button. But with the labor only moving company, you could just get your articles of incorporation or articles of organization, depending on what state you're in, right? Your EIN number, and if your state has some type of labor practice, city, public license or whatever, then you may have to get that. But other than that, you don't have to get the household goods license. You only have to get that when there is a truck involved and you're moving freight. You're transporting freight from location to location with the truck. There's a lot of people out there that start labor only moving companies, and they make a bag. They make a bag, man. I'm telling you. There is a lot. There are labor only moving companies that was around when I came in that's still around, right? They don't have the liabilities. They have liabilities, right? Because they're moving stuff, right? Either in a truck or out of a truck or both. They may move it, load the truck, and then unload the truck at the second destination. But the liability of the transport, as far as the insurance, stuff shifting in transport on the truck, they don't have to deal with that. Normally, labor only companies usually load people that are moving one way, or they're unloading a person who moved in one way, or customers that are looking for an economical move. They're trying to save money as much money as possible, because when you hire a moving company, whether it's a licensed moving company or an unlicensed moving company, a road company, as we would say, once you add the labor coupled along with those truck fees, that's what really pushes that price point up for the move. So what a lot of customers will do is they'll hire a labor only moving company, right, to do the loading and the unloading. They'll go to U-Haul, rent the truck for $19.99 or $29.99, like for a 17 or 20 or 26 footer, right? $29.99, $39.99, I'm sorry, for the 26 footer. And if they're moving within a short local distance, let's say within 5 to 10 miles, they'll pay that 99 cent a mile or $1.19, $1.29 on the weekend, depending on what market you're in. But on average, during the week, it's 99 cent, I believe. Still, they'll pay that because they're not going that many miles. They know they're not going to burn that much fuel. They'll have all their stuff pretty much wrapped for the most part, and then that's how they shave down their cost a lot, right? So, and I never talked about this, but I guess I'll talk about it now since we're on the topic. You can start a labor only moving company. It doesn't require a truck. A good source to a good place to get job leads is movinghelper.com, right? U-Haul bought that website from Moving Helper, and they incorporated it into their infrastructure, right? Obviously because they rent trucks locally in one way. So when you reserve your truck on uhaul.com, as you're going through the prompts, you're booking your truck, you're booking it. Then they start, you go to the pages. Hey, do you want to buy some tape? Do you want to buy some boxes? Do you want to buy this? And then before you get to the page where you put your credit card in to reserve the truck, it says, hey, do you need help loading your truck? And then it shows you a classified of local people in your area based on the zip code you put in for where you want to pick the truck up at, that offer moving labor to load and unload. And if you go on movinghelper.com, or if you go and just make a mock truck rental on U-Haul, before you get to the page where you got to put your credit card in to reserve it, you can look at some of the costs. Some of these guys are charging $200 and $300 an hour just for labor. for 2 and 3 guys. All right. And people are paying it, right? Because U-Haul is the number one household goods truck rental. Everywhere else does household, but for the most part, they're commercial. Penske, primarily commercial. Enterprise, primarily commercial. Ryder, all the way commercial. They don't do any household, right? Budget, for the most part, primarily commercial. U-Haul is not commercial at all. They're straight household, right? So if you could be marketed anywhere for your labor-only moving business, movinghelper.com, owned by U-Haul, right before checking out, reserving a truck, being presented to the consumer right there on the page that's renting a truck anyway, is the best lead generating service a person who's starting a labor-only moving company could get. All right, so there's no reason people should be out here talking about they ain't got no bread. All right, there's no reason nobody should be out here talking about they ain't got no bread. I don't care if you got no truck or not. You can go start you a labor only. Go get you one of your buddies that ain't got no bread, that ain't got no job. Y'all, create it. And with Moving Helper, you don't even have to have your articles. If you don't even have the money for your articles or your EIN, you can do it as a sole proprietor. All right, you can do it as a sole proprietor just to get your foot in the door, to get you up some bread so that you can incorporate your company. There's no reason that nobody should not be out here with no bread. All right. So this is an easy way to get into the moving industry without a truck. All right. This also gives you experience of loading, unloading, and packing a truck. So if you do want to get into this and you decide, hey, we're doing good with this, we're making a lot of money, we don't have excess costs because there's no truck associated with it, right? But you still decide after a year or two that you do want to go out and get a truck, you have the experience because you've been doing labor only loading, unloading, and packing for the past however long you've been doing it. All right. And those labor rates would be the same. All right. So now let's get into the truck fees. Let's get into the truck fees now. All right. So moving truck fees. Man, this shit look crazy. All right. So boom. This is how you charge for the truck. All right. If you got a cargo van, you want to charge a one-time fee for your vehicle, right? You're charging for the labor, but you also want to charge a one-time fee for your vehicle. If you got a cargo van and it's local, meaning if you're in Raleigh, if you're in Charlotte, if you're in Miami, if you're in Houston, if you're in Atlanta, Chicago, Metro Phoenix, right? Within that area, you want to charge what's called a basic city rate, right? You're going to cover the city limits for a flat fee. All right. You can go from one end of the city to the other as long as within the major city. Charge a one-time flat fee. If I was in a cargo van and I was on the new and I was getting started out, it's a cargo van. All right. You can't really, rip somebody off. All right. I'm going to go for the $75 holler. So if I was in a cargo van, say somebody wanted us to move their child's dorm, and I got a cargo van, right? I got a Ford T250, right? High roof extended, just going to move a dorm, all right? From the kid's college back to mommy's crib somewhere in the city, right? Kid went to school in the city, but they lived on campus. Boom. I'm going to charge it for the two guys, right? I'll say $100 an hour, right? But you can still use that range, whatever fits within that range I gave you in the previous whiteboard demonstration. And then I would charge a $75 van fee along with that. Now, what does the van fee cover? All right. Because what it is it's marketing, right? When you're running under the table, you have to market yourself really, really good. You can't charge people for every single individual thing as if you're a licensed mover, right? So the van fee is going to cover the fuel, right? It's going to also cover the mileage, right? And whatever materials that you use. All right. So it's all going to be coupled into there. Now, here's the thing. The reason why I say you're going to leave it in the city, because you're not really burning that much fuel because you're staying within city limits. The miles really don't care anyway, because you own a truck, right? It's not like over the road and shit like that. Now, if you're renting the van, then that's another thing. But if you own a van, you just couple that in there, right? But who cares about the miles, right? You're going to be in the city limits anyway, right? 5, 10, 15, 20 miles, whatever. Materials, all right? You're doing moves in a cargo van. You're using material, but you're not using a lot of material like you're moving a 3, 4, 5 bedroom house, right? You're moving small things, a dorm. You may be picking up a few items. Hey, I just bought a new living room set. We're going to give this old living room set to my daughter. So you go pick up a sofa, a love seat, and a chair. That's only 3 items that you got to wrap, right? You're just going in there, you're hitting with the shrink wrap. You're wrapping it 100% with the shrink wrap. It's 3 items, right? So those materials, you're not really running through a lot of material. You're not really running through that much shrink wrap. You're not really running through that much tape. Your blankets, you're using those over and over and over again. So once you get your blankets, the only cost that you have really for your blankets after a certain period of time is just your laundry fee, washing the blankets, right? Because they get dusty on the back of the truck. They do get dirty because you're wrapping things, you're setting the items down on the ground. The blankets are on the ground. They're in staircases. They get dirty. So you have to wash them. So your laundry fee. Obviously, if blankets get worn over a period of time, you're going to have to throw blankets out, right? And then replace them, whatever. But for the most part, your blankets, you're just using them over and over and over again. So the most materials that you're going to have to buy more on a consistent basis is your shrink wrap, your tape. Pretty much all your other stuff is pretty much, once you buy it, it's there. Your dollies, unless it breaks, your hand chuck, your 4-wheel dolly, your appliance dolly, your rubber bands, your hump straps, your shoulder straps, your forearm straps, piano straps, right? Your moving rubber bands, your speed packs. You're gonna have to replace your speed packs, every so often, because as you use those speed packs, you're constantly folding them, unfolding them. They get worn after a while. Speed pack goes somewhere between $40 and $50 a speed pack nowadays. So you're gonna have to replace them every so often. But for the most part, your shrink wrap and your tape is what you're gonna be buying more on a consistent basis, because that's what you're gonna be using often. And obviously, once you use that stuff, it's you dispose of it afterwards. So that $75 van fee is going to cover those items. Now, if you are moving, let's say, someone out of the city, out to the burbs, or let's say you're going out to the burbs, moving someone into the city, let's say past 50 miles, then you want to start upping your fee, right? You want to start upping your fee. Now, how you decide to up your fee is up to you. You can go, okay, after city limits, any suburbs, surrounding suburbs, it's an additional $25. I'm just giving you some ideas. All right. So if it's a suburb that borders, let's say, the city limits, so let's say I'm in Chicago. If I booked a job going north to the nearest north suburb that borders the city, let's say Evanston, I'm in a cargo van, I'm charging $75 for a van fee anywhere in the city, right? But if I go up to Evanston, even though it borders the city, it's an additional $25. All right. So now my van fee is going to be $100. The further I go out, then I would just continue to up my fee. You do the same thing with the truck. If I was to go way out to Gurney for my van, I'm going to want 125, right? Because that's way up there, damn near by the Wisconsin border. It's about an hour and 20 minutes outside of the city, right? So I might want 125 for that, for my van. You know what I'm saying? So you can say, okay, every additional 25, every additional mile outside of the city is an additional dollar. So if I'm going 30 miles outside of the city, it'll be an additional $30 on top of that 75. All right. And you can do that same thing with your box truck. And this is how you make money. So let's say you got 3 cargo van jobs in a day. And let's say you're charging $100 an hour with a 2-hour minimum. Make sure you charge a 2-hour minimum. All right. Never just charge them by the hour, because you'll have some jobs literally that'll just be done in an hour or 45 minutes or an hour and a half. You want to get 2 hours out of every job, regardless if it's done within 2 hours or not. You got a 2-hour minimum, period. 2-hour minimum. So let's say you at the 100, let's say you charge $100 an hour with the 2-hour minimum. That's 200 plus your 75, right? Now let's say you book 3 of those a day, right? So what's that? Now that's what? What's that? 600 plus 75. 75 is 150. That's 750 plus another 75, 825. So now your cargo van made 825 in a day. Now let's say you plan your helper, and this is how you pay your helper too. Labor pay. This is how you pay your helper. You pay them by the hour based on the job. You're under the table. All right. So the rules of license don't really apply to you. So let's say each job was 2 hours, right? You pay him for those 2 hours. The in between time, you don't pay him for. So if the 6 hours, let's say you're paying $25 an hour, that's 150 plus tips. 9 times out of 10, each job is going to tip you. An average tip nowadays is about $20 a man, right? So if he gets $60 to $100 in tips, he's made $250 damn near, right? And that's good for a helper who's not really you're doing labor in a van, but not much labor. You're doing store pickups, store deliveries, small little odds and ends. Hey, can you pick up this coffee table and take it to my office? Hey, I got these banker boxes I need brought from this office to this office. It's like 30 boxes, right? Or hey, like the scenario I just gave you, we bought a new living room set. We're giving the whole living room set to my daughter. Or you get a lot of these mattress pickups. Hey, can you pick up this mattress at the mattress store, mattress in the box spring, and bring it to me? Now, situations like that in the cargo van, you don't charge by the hour, right? If it's a one-hitter quitter. So for your labor, you just pay your labor guy. Just pay him per hour, per job. The in-between time, you don't pay him for, right? Because he's making tips, right? All right, so now for moving on a cargo van for deliveries, you charge a little bit different, right? You don't charge by the hour. So I'm gonna give you a scenario. Hey, I bought 3 items from IKEA online. I need somebody to pick them up. All right, what are the items, right? What are the items? Let's say they buy a CPU desk, a computer desk, a pallet mattress. You don't know what a pallet mattress? IKEA sells this like a roll-up mattress. It comes in a roll and it's just like a pallet, right? And then the headboard. All right. If you're familiar with the IKEA headboard, it comes in like 2 or 3 boxes. It has the little makeshift fake wooden headboard, like the presswood headboard, the presswood flipboard. It's black. Then it has the slats, right? Then it has the metal thing that you got to screw into the side rails. And then you got to put those little pins in the thing. And then you pull the slats out on top of it. And then you put the mattress on top. So let's say those 3 items. Now, let's say the IKEA is 30 miles from delivery, 30 miles to delivery, right? Because let's say the IKEA is out in the suburbs and the apartment is in the city. You got 3 items. The stuff is already ready. It's pulled. It's at wheel call waiting for you. You don't charge a customer by the hour for something like this. For these 3 items, you charge a one-time fee. Now, this fee has to be competitive. You can't like be charging somebody like glue globs of money for a delivery, right? Even though you got to go pick it up and drop it off, right? It's a delivery, right? For something like this within 30 miles, 150 all day. Why? Because you're not going to get that, I'm going to call you back, let me continue to shop around. That 150, they're still in the deal. It's not really costing you anything. When you get to the IKEA, they got the shit sitting on the goddamn rack already. If you ever been to IKEA, all the will cost shit is placed by order. They have these little push cart, like they're not like a flatbed, a typical flatbed you see in a warehouse, a wooden flatbed with the metal rail. They're metal, but like a shorter version of like a flatbed cart, let's say, right? The stuff will be sitting on there. They'll say, who? Jenkins. You show them the receipt, blah, they'll point it to you. Boom, you push the cart out to the van, you load the 4 or 5 boxes, you drive the 30 miles, you take the stuff in the apartment, you leave it at the front door. That's it. That's a 150 holler all day. You don't have to worry about the customer pricing around. That's going to seal the deal. All right, that's an easy 150. All right, if it takes you an hour and a half to drive out there, get the shit, drive back, running in the crib, that's an easy $150. Right? You pay your helper 30, 40 bucks, whatever you're paying them for the 2 hours, whatever, or even if you're paying him 25 for that job, you give him a 2-hour minimum for that job, he makes 50, you take 100. Right? And you keep it moving. So now say you got 2 or 3 of those in a day, plus a small move. You're looking at a $1,000 day in a van. You can do these types of jobs all day long in the summertime. It's all how you market yourself. You don't just have one marketing design, one marketing play, right? You want to market to different things. So, okay, boom. You want to have, let's say if I was getting started right now, let's say I was in a major metropolitan city. A lot of people shop at IKEA, right? IKEA does do delivery through NAL and AIT and a few other companies, but you have to schedule it. A lot of people want their stuff sooner than later, right? So they go to Thumbtack, they go to Craigslist, they go to wherever they go. They also go to TaskRabbit. TaskRabbit pretty much handles the contractual work for the assembly, right? But let's say they find you some type of way, right? Because you marketed to them. I would set up a marketing like this. IKEA pickup and delivery. So I would have a specific ad specifically for IKEA, right? I would do an ad specifically for IKEA pickup and deliveries, right? I would have a separate ad for my small moving in a cargo van. And then I would have a whole different ad for my IKEA pickup and deliveries because you're marketing to a whole different demographic. When you see a Verizon billboard or a T-Mobile billboard or an AT&T billboard, you might drive past 2 or 3 T-Mobile billboards a day. But each one of them looks different. You know, this one may have this slogan on it. That one may have something else on it. This one may have something else on it, right? They're not running the same ad every single where, right? Right? Okay, let's even get more detailed. Sprite. You see Sprite commercials and McDonald's commercials, right? All right, so I can talk from this aspect. McDonald's and companies like McDonald's and Sprite, they target certain demographics in certain ads. It's similar to this. You got a cargo van, you're going to target certain demographics for certain types of jobs, right? When you see a McDonald's commercial and you're watching tennis, it's not the same McDonald's commercial that you see playing on BET. When you see a McDonald's commercial, a Sprite commercial on BET, a Sprite commercial has LeBron in it. When you see McDonald's commercials on BET, right? You see a black family going in. Back in the day, if you're old enough to remember, the Coca-Cola commercial used to come on BT, or when you watch channel WGN, when Soul Train used to come on, they had Tyrese black ass in it. He was smiling at the end, always Coca-Cola, yeah. Then he smiled with them big ass white teeth he had with his black ass. Some of y'all don't remember that because y'all too young. They didn't play goddamn the Coca-Cola Tyrese commercial when the Love and the Young and the Restless was on, or As the World Turns. They played Tyrese black ass with his white ass teeth when Soul Train was on. Why? Because they were targeting that certain demographic. You think they was playing Tyrese black ass, smiling and shit, getting on the goddamn bus? He was walking down the street, getting on the goddamn bus. You think they ran that ad for goddamn the Masters golf tournament? No. They ran that ad specifically. If you watch Soul Train, whenever the commercial came on for Soul Train, some of y'all don't know what I'm talking about, man. Some of y'all just, like, y'all really don't know what y'all missed out on. But if you watch Soul Train back in the day, they would run that Coca-Cola ad. And that was the only channel I would see it on. The company that handles a lot of the urban ads for some of your major companies like McDonald's and Sprite, It's called Burrell Communications. They're based here out of Chicago. Burrell Communications is the largest Black-owned advertising agency, right? Now, on the flip coin, their competition would be Leo Burnett, which is more of a, I don't want to say white-owned, but they cater to a whole nother demographic, right? So it's the same situation here, right? You want to have a Burrell Communications ad and you want to have a Leo Burnett ad, right? You want to target a specific niche. Okay, I'm doing IKEA moves. IKEA pickup and deliveries. 150 flat, up to 5 items. Boom, you're done. Find a place to market it. Go to the damn parking lot. Like back in the day, the street team. See, I was on the street team. I was on Def Jam street team, right? Go to the parking lot and do a blitz. All right. You don't have to put the shit in people's hands. You don't even have to put the shit on people's cars. You could just toss the flyers in the air and leave them on the ground. And people are going to look down and look at them. It may seem like a waste of money to you, but this is a technique that we used to use back in the day. It was called a blitz. All right. Work on your SEO, your search engine optimization. Make sure that on your website, you have a specific page catered just for that. So when people start typing in IKEA, delivery, things like that, it'll pop up. You got to remember, your phones are listening. Targeted ads are a thing. So if a person is talking about delivery and IKEA, when they go on their phone, if you're running ads, let's say you pick a cheap little, let's say $5 or $10 a day Facebook ad, it'll pop up. And then you have a totally separate ad for your moving. You might want to even go more specific. College dorm moves, 10% off. So you're going to do the $100 an hour, $75 cargo van fee, but charge all college students 10% off. This is what I used to do back in the day. I always gave college students 10% off. Work like a charm. That 10%, okay, on a $275 move, yeah, it's gonna be $27.50, but who cares? The volume you're gonna book at the end of the semester and at the beginning of the semester, and especially if you get a freshman on the new, they moving in or moving out, you catch them, you got them for the next 3 years. The parent calling you back in August, and they calling you back in May when it's time to move them out sophomore year. They calling you back in August again, junior year, back in May to move them out junior year, back in August again, senior year, back in June to move them out of senior year when they graduate. 10% off. Digital coupon, they get a coupon code. You put the coupon on your website. I swear to God, I used to do it, work like a charm. I swear to God, we did that. Once the word gets spread, man, so-and-so with the cargo van, they doing dorm moves. It's $100 an hour, 2-hour minimum, $75 van fee, but they got a coupon code for 10% off. Guess what? The word gonna spread throughout the college. I swear to God, it was times where University of Chicago, I would just send a truck to Hyde Park, and the whole day would just be University of Chicago moves, because when the semester was over, like for the whole week, I would have a truck just dedicated. So now I'm not burning any fuel. Why? Because the truck is on campus, just doing different moves. It's moving a person out of the dorm. They have to rent an apartment on campus, because sometimes some kids don't go home for the summer. Like I'm giving you the game, man. You want the game? I'm giving it to you. Man, I don't see enough likes, man. I'm gonna get up off of this thing in a minute. Hit the like button. And then you have your traditional moves. And then you would just do a traditional ad for that, right? So you want to target certain customers, and you want to have ads targeting each individual customer. You want to make sure that your website is SEO'd correctly. This is how your van stays running. Same thing with your truck, all right? I'm not trying to break the bank. Focus on volume. To go pick up 4 or 5 items from IKEA, I'm not charging nobody no arm and leg. Give me $150. Why? Because as the word gets out there, I might be going to IKEA for 3 different customers in one day, and now I can schedule those 3 deliveries in the same day. Now that's $450 I'm going to pick up, and I'm just dropping them off along the way, each stop along the way. There's a company out of St. Louis, because they don't have an IKEA down there. Last I knew of, but they built a company coming up here. We got 2 IKEAs. We got one in Schaumburg and one in Bolingbrook. Since they don't have, I don't know, they might have one down there now. But I remember it was these guys, right? They would come up here, they would take orders, right? And they would come up here and pick up all the stuff and take it and distribute it to people in St. Louis. So whenever somebody wanted to buy something from IKEA, since they didn't have one down there, they would hire these guys. They would drive their van up here and they would pick up as many orders as they could and deliver them back to St. Louis. They saw a void in their market and they capitalized on it. If you live in an area where there's no IKEA, you can utilize that same strategy and that same technique. We talked about this a few weeks ago. Find a void and go get money. Find a void and capitalize on it. All right. So that's how I would do it. 150 up to 5 items, and then you can determine after that 5th item, how you want to go up. If you go to the room place or something like that, you get a living room set. They charge you $125, $150 all day long to deliver the living room set. So you can't, you got to be competitive, right? All right. So a lot of this applies to the 16-foot box truck, right? So we're going to keep it still on moving. It looks like I'm going to be here a little longer than an hour. I got to run in my mouth. So let's go 16-footer to 26-footer. All right, boom. All right, so same situation applies. Your costs are going to be a little bit higher now, right? With the 16-footer to the 26-footer, now you can deal 2+ men. You can do 3 men with a 16-footer. Some 26-foot jobs may require 4 men or more men. If it requires 4 or more men, you're going to utilize a second truck. If a job needs 4 men, a 26-footer, you may need a second or additional one, right? Or that guy can follow in his car, depending. So there's some houses that require 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 men. I've had jobs that required 10+ men. I've done moves that took 3-4 days locally. All right, so it all depends. So, all right, let's give an example for a 16-footer. 3 guys, still $50 an hour. The average rate for 3 men, all right, is about $150 an hour, right? Because you're looking at a $50 an hour per man cost, right? Now, some of you may be asking, well, what's the average rate for a mover right now? It all depends, right? Depends on your market, and it depends on their experience. Somewhere between $20 to $30 an hour, all right? Sometimes more, all right? My last 2 years, through the whole pandemic, I was paying $25 to $60 an hour, right? There was incentives for third floors, so on and so forth. So obviously third floors paid additional, third to thirds paid an additional, thirds to fourth, or fourths to third paid an additional, fourth to fourth paid an additional. And obviously I passed those costs along to the consumer, right? So, all right, so for 3 men, the average cost is about $150 an hour. Obviously 4 men, your fee would be $200 an hour, right? And then so on. 5 men, $250, 6 men, $300. Now, if you build your company up, you're really skilled, and you go licensed, you're looking at $100 an hour, right? So 3 men for license right now is $300. You call 2 men in the truck, 3 guys is gonna cost you $300 an hour. All right. But if you're you're on thumbtack, you're trying to get your feet wet, you got your 16-foot box truck, you're trying to get out there and get that mover money, this is what you would charge. 16-foot, 26-foot box truck. All right, boom. Now, let's talk about your truck fees. Your truck fees in the 16-footer. All right, so moving, truck fees. All right, so boom. Obviously, a 16 footer is bigger, and the 26 footer is bigger than a van. All right. So your truck fee for a 16 footer right now, minimum within the city, 150 all day long. All right. Within city limits. Within city limits. Me personally, if I was on the new and Mark was my mentor, and Mark would tell me, listen, you run in the city, I don't care if you're going north, south, east, or west, as long as it's within the city, 150. Right? I'm gonna give them the fuel, the mileage, materials, truck fee 150. All right. If it's 3 guys, they're gonna be paying about 150 an hour, right? Plus $150 truck fee. That truck fee is a flat fee. Now remember, this is for the guys that's on the new. This is some on the new shit. This ain't licensed. This is for you guys coming in, trying to get your feet wet, working off thumbtack and some of these other apps, right? On the new. This is not licensed. Licensed, we looking at totally different prices. We're not gonna get those prices because y'all ain't licensed. Y'all coming in on the new, so we're gonna give y'all on the new prices, right? So boom, 150 within city limits. I don't care if they're going from one end of the city to the other. It's marketing, right? You do 16 footer, let's say you book 3 1-bedrooms. You can do 3 1-bedroom moves in a day. I don't even care if 1 or 2 of them got a 3rd floor. You book them out with 3 guys, you run them stairs. You got a guy on the truck, you got 2 guys running the stairs. You got a truck guy, you got 2 guys running the stairs on both ends, right? On the low, you got a guy, you all 3 go in, you start running the stairs. Once shit starts getting to the edge of that truck, that guy stays downstairs. He's loading the truck. He's taking the boxes, walking them to the back of the truck, building that wall. You got those other 2 guys running the stairs. Whatever their system is, flight and a half with the boxes, or all the way up and down. If they hump strapping the boxes, they strapping the boxes up, putting them over their back, they're going all the way up and all the way down. Whatever your system is, right? So your truck fee would be, I lost my train of thought, but your truck fee for a 16 footer would be 150. Now for a 26 footer, all right, 225. 225. Right? 26 footer, bigger truck, more to operate. Got to pay for that. Got to pay for that. 26 foot truck going out, probably only going to be 1 move for the day. And that 225, if you are in a major metropolitan city and you feel like you can get it, you can go 250. If you're in a smaller metropolitan city, Charlotte, Fort Lauderdale, Cincinnati, you might want to go for the 225. Chicago, 250 all day long. You know why? Because they're going to pay it. I know they're going to pay it. New York, they're going to pay it. New York, you probably go more. LA, 250. Houston, 250. Atlanta, 250. They're going to pay it. They're going to pay it. Now, this is within city limits now. Now, same technique applies if you're going outside the city. So let's say you're moving someone from the city to the suburb or from the suburb to the city. Then that 150 for that 16 footer wouldn't apply. If they're going right outside the city, let's say if here in Chicago, let's say if I was going north of the city, Evanston borders the city. If I was going west, let's say Oak Park. If I was going south, let's say maybe Dalton. Go out there with Tiffany Henyard. Even though it borders the city, one side of the city is one side of the street is Chicago, the other side is Evanston. I need that extra quarter. All right. So for that truck fee, bordering towns, 175. Each additional mile outside the city, I'm charging $1. And the further outside of the city, I'm charging an extra $50 return fee. So let's say if I was taking a moving truck, let's say a 26 footer, let's say up to Gurney, or let's say I was moving somebody way up to Zion, which borders Wisconsin and Illinois, right? Whatever those mileages were outside the city, on top of that one, let's say 150 for the 16 footer or the 250 for the 26 footer, I would charge them that. Plus, I would charge them a fee for the mileage returning. Why? Because that drive you're driving back, you got to pay for that. And moving, you don't get a lot of, back talk and like what people got to go through with brokers and shit like that. You don't get that with moving. If I charge somebody 350, 400 for a truck fee, they'll pay it. Why? Because it's a task that they don't want to do themselves. Listen, a person can go rent a U-Haul truck and move their own goddamn shit, to be honest with you. The reason why they want to hire movers and pay $300 and some an hour plus truck fees plus material costs, and when you get licensed, dog, the material costs, oh my God, you can charge a person $1,000 some for material. You use so much shrink wrap, so much tape. This is how you get over on them. This is how you make a lot of money in moving off material. You just wrap that shit like a mummy. This is how you make money in moving. You charge them. You don't have to worry. You don't get the back lip, the back talk. It's all right. Can you put me in August 1st? How early can you guys get here? I need a morning. There's only so many moving companies to go around. And you get an influx of volume April through the end of September. That volume really gets heavy May, June, that weekend, 4th of July, that last week of June, going into July 3rd, crazy. That weekend, that last week of May, Memorial Day going into that first week of June, crazy. That last week of August period from the middle of August all the way to the end of the first week of September, crazy. They're going to pay it. Why? Because they don't want to do it themselves. They can go to U-Haul and get a 26 footer for $39.99 $1 a mile. They can go to U-Haul, Home Depot, U-Haul, get their boxes, pack their shit, call their friends, get some pizza and some beer, and fuck they shit up themselves. Scratch all their walls, damage all their furniture because they don't know what the hell they doing. But they rather pay somebody a premium because they don't want to go up and down them flights of stairs. You can get these prices. Are you willing to do the work? So that's what you get for your truck fee for your 16 footer. I would start at 150. I would go up from there going out to the suburbs. 225, 250 depending on your market. I would go up there from there. Long distance moves are a little bit different. You don't charge by the hour for long distance move. You charge a flat fee. And that's based on point A to point B. You can go by the weight, but if you're under the table, you don't really know what you're doing. By the way, I wouldn't move someone long distance in your own truck. That's a good way to get your behind in trouble. You can get away under the table in your city for the most part until you go get licensed. I wouldn't recommend going over the road with a move though. In that case, you would have the customer rent a truck and then you would just load it and obviously drive it. They pay you to drive it and then unload it on the other end. We'll talk about that another day. So we just want to get you guys set up for price and structure since moving season is here. A lot of people have been asking me. All right. So it's pretty simple. All right. So that's it. And then, if you're doing, let's say one bedrooms, let's say you got a 16 footer and you got a studio in the morning, you got a one bedroom in the afternoon, and you got a one bedroom in the evening. Each one of those customers is charged, and let's say they're all in the city. Each one of those customers is paying that $150 truck fee. So just off truck fees, you made $450, and your truck hasn't left the city. You still probably got 3/4 of a tank of fuel. So your truck is earning money. Each customer is paying you that truck fee. So your truck made $450 on top of the money that you made off the labor. So let's say each job was 3 hours. That's 9 hours. And let's say 3 guys at $150. Your truck made $1,400, $1,500, $1,600. in a day. This is a 16-footer. You getting half the labor costs. If you charging $50 an hour, man, your average guy's making $25. You're making $25 off each guy's back. So if you got 3 guys out there and you're not on the truck, let's say, you're making $75 an hour off the labor plus $150 from the truck. If you're on the truck, even better. With 2 other guys, that means you're paying yourself $75, then you're making an additional $50. So even after you pay your guys at the end of the day, that's a $1,000-something a day. Your costs are very minimal. Truck never left the city. You don't even have to go get gas. You still got enough gas probably for the next 2 days. So, all right, so that's that. All right, now let's get into big and bulky. Let's get into big and bulky. All right. Hey, Mark. It's an Arab furniture store in my city. They got 3 locations, some Arabs. They call 5-star furniture. Right? They want to contract me to do all their deliveries. How would I charge? I get asked this question a lot in my DM. Do I charge them by the hour? Do I charge them by the day? Do I charge them by the stop? Do I charge them by the piece? These are the questions that I ask. All right, so boom. There's only one way you can charge them. By the stop. You charge them by the stop, right? You charge them the same way that the major retailers charge customers. All right, listen, you go in there, you order a living room set, they charge you $125, $150, right? All right, so boom. So you charge by the stop. All right. Now what do you charge by the stop? Now, this is where you negotiate, right? This is where you negotiate with the Habibi, with the owner, right? I've gotten proposition, these types of deliveries throughout my career many times, right? And the reason why I never did it, and I'm gonna tell you why, because this is something you're gonna be faced with too. When you get proposition or you get commission to give a quote for these mom and pop furniture stores in your community, your city, you got to understand they're catering to a specific demographic, right? And you know the demographic, right? Right? So what you would pay for a delivery if you went into Ashley or you went into Bob's or you went into Art Van ain't around no more. Let's say the Room Place. Is the Room Place local? What a Room Place. Let's say Ashley Furniture, Bob's Furniture, a major chain furniture store. The average you're gonna pay is about $150 for the delivery, right? And that's for like your whole delivery. If you order a bedroom set and a living room set, it's gonna be $150. 2 bedroom sets and a living room set, $150. They charge you for the delivery, right? Boom. Most of these local shops ain't charging their customers that. The average, they charge them somewhere between $60 and $75. Now, they're willing to give you 100% of the revenue of that. The reason why I used to turn away because it just wasn't enough for my operational costs, right? But if you're on the new, right, and you have a truck, it may work out for you, right? If they're promising you somewhere between, you got a 26-foot box truck, and these mom and pops, these Arab, mom and pop furniture stores, they be moving some units, especially around this time during tax time. They be moving units. So let's say they give you somewhere between 8 to, let's say, I'm just going to over exaggerate, 15 stops a day. That's over exaggerated, right? Let's do the math. At, let's say, $75 a stop. All right, 10 stops is $750. But you know what? Let's not even go that. Let's say they really in the hood. $60 a stop. Customer only gonna pay $60. Because most of these places that the mom and pop, these Arabs, they in the hood. $60 for the delivery, right? Because man coming in there, man, listen, we gonna keep it a buck. The mattress you may be sleeping on, man ain't buying that mattress. Man buying a recycled mattress. It's a thing. It's a thing. How did I find out it's a thing? Because when I was cross-docking and I had U.S. mattress and we would deliver mattresses, and let's say the customer didn't want them, we would have to go pick them up. U.S. mattress never wanted the mattress back. So I would have a bunch of mattresses at any given time for all the pickups. And then I found a place, right? Because I had a hard time recycling because, like I told y'all, cross-docking is expensive. Nonstop wasn't going to pay me for storage and disposal of the mattress. So I had to find a solution to get rid of all these mattresses. They paid us for the pickup, but I had to dispose of them. They weren't paying me for that. So after some research, I found some Arabs, right? Here in Chicago, over off of 44th and like Keeler or Colin or something, doing some research that took these mattresses, right? I'm like, y'all just going to take all these mattresses? Like, yeah, how many you get? How many can you get? I'm like, shit, we probably pick up 10, 15 mattresses a week. Yeah, just bring them over here. So I took the first batch over there when I found these guys. These guys had a warehouse full of used mattresses, and they would take the springs out and reupholster them. So they'll put new, padding and whatever that cotton shit and sew them. And so they had like some Mexican people in there working for them. They'd take all this, cut the damn mattress, take the springs out. They'll reuse the springs and they'll just put new upholstery over it. So I'm like, so y'all taking just any old mattress? These mattresses might be big, bro, written, whatever. Man, people was coming in there buying mattresses, $50 a mattress, $100 for a king size. This is what man and them buying. So if man coming there buying a king mattress and box spring for the hundo, they not finna pay no $150 for no delivery. So you got to keep this in mind. So when y'all be hitting me in the DM asking me, the most you gonna get is 60 to 75. They gonna give you 100% of the revenue, but the most they gonna give you is 60, 75. You're not gonna get 100, 125, 150 because they in the hood. Person ain't gonna pay 150 for a delivery if they going and buying a refurbished mattress for a hundo. All right. So what you need to be trying to figure out is how many stops they're gonna give you. If the volume is there, somewhere between 8 to 15 stops a day, then $60 is going to be worth it. Why? They're in the hood. 9 times out of 10, the delivery going to be in the vicinity somewhere at the store. Why? Because we know man don't leave the hood. So if you're on the truck, $60 to $75 a stop is a winner. If you get 10 stops, that's $1,600. 9 times out of 10, the truck is still going to be somewhere within the vicinity for the most part. If you're trying to get your feet wet, I think this is a good account. As long as the paperwork is right, because the BB and them be tripping sometimes. So make sure the paperwork is right and you good to go. Somewhere between $60 to $75 a stop. All right. So if you're running for a local, this is what you should offer. All right. You want 100% of the revenue, right? They're offering a service to their customer, right? They're providing a service and a convenience for the customer who doesn't have a way to get this shit home. Yeah, they can go rent a U-Haul too. But it might be a single mother who doesn't have a brother, who doesn't have a man, and she just got her taxes, and little man need a little twin size bed, or maybe tax season like it is now. and a new living room set, a new bedroom set. So it could be literally 10 pieces, but you still can only charge that. It could be a living room set and 2 bedroom sets. And then another thing you need to know is when you work in these neighborhood mom and pop furniture stores, you may have to go back to the store maybe 2 or 3 times, right? Because what happens in these areas is people buying bulk when they get money. Tax season. So they now they got money to move in to the new spot, right? They got their money, they tax money, so now they finna furnish the crib. They're gonna get the living room set. Little man gotta get him. She got 2 boys. They getting the bunk bed with the dresser and the chest. The little girl, she getting her little princess set in the bedroom. And then mama, you know what I'm saying? She getting her a king size. She getting her a refurbished king size. So you pretty much finna furnish the whole crib. That might take up half the truck. Right? So in these areas, what I've learned over the years, you may have to go back to the store 2 or 3 times. So you may unload, do your deliveries, unload, and then you may have to go pick up a whole another set of 4, 5, or 6 orders, depending on how many more can fit in the truck. And I'm speaking from a 26-foot perspective. $60 to $75 a stop. That's your answer. That's the most you're gonna charge. If you want to win the bid, that's what you're getting in the hood, right? And that's where these local big and bulky opportunities are at. You don't really see these big and bulky private B2B opportunities in the suburbs or in other communities outside the hood. You don't really see a lot of mom and pop furniture stores in more affluent areas, right? And if they are mom and pop, they're more luxury couture furniture stores, right? And they already have a service provider. Now, you can go into some of these places and see if they are looking for the service, but just know that when you go into more of these, luxury couture mom and pop furniture stores, they may have a couch in there that's $8,000-$9,000, right? So you got to understand that going in, what you're dealing with. Is that something you really want to deal with? So if a person paying $8,000-$9,000 for a couch, you can already imagine what the crib look like. Is that something you want to be bothered with, right? Because ain't no, I made a mistake and they're going to be like, all right, don't worry about it. You nick a wall, you scratch a floor, that wood is different type of wood. That wood, that's some soft cherry oak, dark, like you can eat off the floor wood. They ain't letting you slide with that. You scratch an $8,000 couch, you're going to pay for it one way or another. They got the money to make your life miserable. All right? So that's what you charge. It's simple. You don't charge per piece. You don't charge per hour. You charge strictly per stop. And, if you do find somewhere that's a little bit more upscale, then your price can increase. But more than likely, if you're getting proposition for quotes to do big and bulky, it's in the hood. All right. Now there are specialty type deliveries. Like for years we were working with this powder coating company where there was a mom and pop powder coating company where they powder coated patio furniture, and I charged them $100 to pick up the patio furniture and $100 for the drop. So we would run for them 2 days a week. One day we would go and pick up all the patio furniture, and depending on the time of season, like right about now, going into the spring, we would run 2 trucks, right? Because people are getting their patio furniture, they need to get it powder coated. All right. This is wrought iron, right? Patio furniture. So maybe you can look into this too. Wrought iron patio furniture. And this is really, really expensive patio furniture. It's wrought iron, so it lasts a lifetime. But, the weather element, takes to it over years, and easy fixes to get it powder coated, which is very, very expensive, right? But if you got wrought iron patio furniture, you can afford it. So they would pay us to go and pick the furniture up on Wednesdays. This time of the year, it would take 2 trucks, right? And we would charge them $100 a stop. And then on Thursdays, we would do deliveries of patio furniture we picked up 2 to 3 weeks prior. The turnaround time was like 3 or 4 weeks, right? So Wednesdays and Thursdays were the day. Wednesdays were pickups, Thursdays were drop-offs, right? So that's thinking outside the box. Now, I didn't reach out to this company. They reached out to me. That's why it's very important that your company has awareness, right? You want to make sure that your company has a website. You want to make sure that it's search engine optimized really, 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 really well, because you wouldn't believe what type of mom and pop companies that are out there that are looking to build a B&B relationship with a company because they need a service provided. You know, they didn't have a truck, but they needed patio furniture brought to them. People that, buy wrought iron patio furniture ain't renting no U-Haul. And you got to understand your clientele base. These houses that we were going to, I think Costas is in here, other people from Chicago, were in Lake Forest, Barrington, South Barrington. Some of y'all don't know these areas, but these are very affluent suburbs. We're going to pro football players. We're going to Chicago Bulls home. We're going to people that live on the block around the corner from Michael Jordan. People that live around the corner from King Griffin's mansion. King Griffin, the CEO of Citadel. He's from Chicago. So we're way out where the rich of the richest, the Beanie Baby guy. These guys are billionaires, right? These are the people that buy this type of patio furniture, right? So we can charge $100 an hour, a stop for the pickup, and $100 for the drop off, because cost didn't mean anything. These people are paying thousands of dollars just to get their patio furniture powder coated. So what's $100 for the pickup to $100 for the drop off? Whoop-de-doo, right? Then you can charge accordingly. All right, boom. All right, so that takes care of big and bulky. All right, so now let's get into, I guess we'll go white since it switched to nighttime. Curbside. All right, curbside. And this is pretty much the example that I just gave for the patio furniture. This is curbside, right? Pretty much the patio furniture was already outside. We didn't have to ring the customer's doorbell. It's already outside. Just pick it up. Same thing with the drop off. Just put it back in the yard. This is curbside, right? How did we charge? We didn't charge by the hour. We didn't charge by the piece. And some of these stops had a bunch of pieces. Some of these houses were mega mansions. They had 3-4 patio sets because they had 3-4 patios. They had patio sets by the pool, patio sets on the terrace, patio set on the terrace around the corner in the other backyard by the other tennis court or whatever, right? So some of these places had a bunch of pieces, still charged $100. Why? Because it's by the stop, all right? Whatever the amount of pieces is, it's a guarantee. You can go to one person's place and it could be literally one piece, $100. You can go to a next person's place and it could be 20 pieces, $100. It balances itself out, right? And then you're getting this stuff in volume, weekly, consistently. This is a B2B contract, right? It has to be simplified. You're going to win some, and it's going to feel like you're going to lose some. So even if you go to a stop and it's 20 pieces, still doesn't matter, because look how many stops you went to. It was literally just a chair or just a patio table or 4 chairs and a table. Won't bam, thank you, ma'am. You pulled it back the truck into the driveway. The shit is right there. You throw the shit on the truck. You don't even got to wrap the shit on the pickup. Why? Because it's getting powder coated anyway. All right. So you charge by the stop. Same thing with curbside, per stop. All right. So not by the hour, not by the mile, not by the piece, blah, blah, blah. You charge per stop. Now, what do you charge per stop? It all depends. It all depends. Now, if you're running a one-man operation, it's curbside. So your price is pretty much going to be standard, right? All right. If you're local and you're getting propositioned this by a local business and they're promising you work daily and a volume of stops and it's local, depending on how far out you're going, you want to charge somewhere between $30 to $50 a stop. Now you have to decide at your discretion. I'm not in your market. So a lot of times people, Mark, what should I charge? I'm not in your market. All right. I'm giving you the scale and how to charge. You still have to do some of the work. You got to know your market, do your market research, do your competitive analysis, see what the competition is charging. All right. You get an opportunity to do a B&B, curbside delivery route. You're exiting out the middleman. There's no 3PL. You're getting an opportunity to deal B2B. What is B2B? Business to business. B2C is business to consumer. B2B. They're giving you a B2B opportunity. So there's no middleman. All right. They're going to pass that fee along to you 100%. But you got to keep in mind, you got to keep the rate competitive. You got to keep it fair because you want to maintain their business as well. And you have to look at the volume and the longevity of it. I think a lot of people, when they think of these opportunities, they think, making a lot of money. And this is a lot of money. If you're getting $30 a stop, or let's say $50 a stop, and you're doing 10 stops a day, one man, that's $500. Now, if you're exceeding certain limits, then you can go up. All right. So boom, if you're going, let's say 50 miles outside the city, then you can do your upcharge. Do you want to charge an additional $1.25 a mile once you exceed 50 miles? You might have one particular drop that may be 75 miles outside the city. That's when you go up with your upcharge. That's when you go with your upcharge, right? Now, if it's something that's not curbside, and I got to go back to the big and bulky because we didn't talk about the breakdown of the pay, right? Because some people may be looking like, well, damn, $60 to $75 a stop is two guys on the truck. How do I pay? So we'll go back to that in a minute. But let's finish this right now. So this is curbside. This is one man. All right, but let's say you got two men, right? Because let's say it's going to be threshold now. This is threshold. Man, I got to get better with this. Mark, what is threshold? It's going inside the home, right past the threshold. That's it. You go up a little bit. So let's say curbside is on the lower end, $33, $35 a stop, $40 a stop, whatever you deem is fair once you do your competitive analysis in your market. But that's the range. Threshold is going to be a little bit higher, right? Because now you got two men, right? Threshold, on average right now, you're looking at somewhere between $43 to $65. It's literally going up the stairs and right past the threshold. Now, if you decide to go somewhere further than that, that's on you. But threshold means threshold. Right past the threshold. All right, the next one, which is still two men, right? It's going to be room of choice. Right? This means you're taking the items in, you're taking them past the threshold, and you're going into a room of choice. If it's a bedroom set, they may want it to go in the bedroom. The bedroom may be upstairs. If they was to, let's say it's a family room may be downstairs. All right. So God damn it. Room of choice range, depending on your market, somewhere between $40 to $70. All right. And then the final one is going to be your white glove. Right? That's everything. Take it in the house, room of choice, plus assembly, and removal of trash. So if it's brand new in a box, bunch of styrofoam peanuts all over the place, plastic, you got to remove all that stuff, take it back to the truck and dispose of it on your own. That place needs to be the way it was when you got in there, minus whatever you delivered and assembled. All right. Now, your competitive analysis comes in here, right? A lot of people think a lot of these white glove jobs pay in the hundreds of dollars. There's a big scale for white glove because it all depends on what you're delivering, the complexity of the assembly, and how heavy it is, right? If you're delivering a treadmill, which you once you fully get out here and really build your business, you're gonna get a lot of treadmill and a lot of elliptical job offers. Hey, can you pick up this treadmill? Can you pick up whether it be brand new from Dick's Sporting Goods or whether a person is buying it from someone off a marketplace? A lot of people buy used treadmills. So in that case, you may have to go in, pick it up, disassemble it, move it, reassemble it. But that's not on the delivery. That wouldn't fall under this category. That will fall under moving. You charge by the hour for this. But let's say someone purchased let's say you get a B2B with, let's say, like a guy who buys broken down, and these are the type of opportunities you get. A guy, let's say he buys broken down treadmills, and he buys them, or he takes broken treadmills and he refurbishes them and resells them, and he's selling 10, he's got 10 a day for delivery. I'm just making up an example. Obviously, this white glove delivery is going to be on the higher pay scale, right? All right, so a white glove delivery, let me go green. Nowadays, $65 to $250. All right, remember why that scale is so wide. Depends on what you're delivering, the complexity of the assembly, and the weight, right? A Nordic track going up a flight of stairs, up a few flights of stairs, down a flight of stairs, plus assembly is not going to be the same as a baby crib from Bye Bye Baby. That white glove delivery of that baby crib is going to be $65. That's a $65 white glove delivery, right? Because if you go work for AIT right now and you run Bye Bye Baby, you know what they paying you? They paying you $43 to do that. They're going to pay you $43 to go into someone's home, unpackage that baby crib, put it together, and take all the plastic and the styrofoam out. They're going to pay you $43, $45. All right, so $65 to go in there for a baby crib. Now, if you're going in there with an elliptical or a treadmill, you're going to spend a lot more time in there. You're going to spend time getting that thing off the truck. You're going to spend time walking through the place to see where they want to go, prepping the place, doing the walkthrough to see how you're going to get that big thing in there. Do you need to take it out the box? Can you get it in and down the stairs into the basement in the box? You got to get it in there. You got to take everything out. You got to set it up. You got to go back out to the truck, get your tools. You may have to read the directions because you haven't, dealt with this one before. It's time consuming. It's heavy. You're looking at 300-400 pounds, depending on which model you're getting. Some of these treadmills, 300-400 pounds. The level of difficulty. All right, so that's where your range is. And this is the average range for today. And don't be scared to charge. Listen, if someone has a very difficult, big and bulky delivery, charge them. Like some of y'all don't want to charge enough, and then some of y'all want to charge too much. If the scope of a job is challenging, then you have to charge a price that fits the scope of the job. Why? The bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. Right? You're carrying a 250, 300-pound treadmill down a flight of narrow basement stairs that's going straight down the steep stairs into a basement in a big, huge, wide box. That's your back, your shoulders, your knees, right? We talk about damage to the person's home and damage to the actual goods, but we never talk about the damage and the wear and tear to your body. I'm sitting up here with a shoulder that probably gonna be like this for the rest of my life. I was trying to do decline bench press today, and I could get it up, but it's like, because of where my shoulder is. I don't know if y'all can hear it popping. I don't know if y'all can hear that in the mic, but from where my shoulder is just messed up at from when that armoire messed me up a couple years ago, when I'm going up, even right now, like it's like when I'm going up, it's like this arm is straight and this shoulder can go straight up, but like as this one goes up, the weakness, my hand, it kind of turns a little bit to kind of brace the injury. So I'm not even going straight up like I'm going straight up. It's like this one is turning a little bit. So all that, you got to keep that in mind. Like some things that's really, really heavy, you putting the wear and tear on your body. So you have to charge accordingly for that. Listen, that armoire, even though it fucked my shoulder up, the bill at the end, even though that bill I only charged it one time and this is still ongoing, I'm okay with what she paid. I was compensated. The job is taxing. So I wouldn't charge a person $65 to deliver an armoire that was built in the 40s or the 50s. Why? Because shit was built different back then. It was built sturdier. It was built with real wood. That shit is solid. I know what I'm getting into. I know how heavy it's going to be. A piano, listen, piano 500, just to even talk 500. I don't give a goddamn if it's an upright. Before we even have a conversation on what type of piano it is, the scope of the job, just know before you tell me any particulars on the job, just by you saying it's a piano, it starts at 500. I've picked up and delivered pianos for $1,000+, just one piano. Because that's 3-4 jobs within itself. So you can't cheat yourself. Whatever the scope of the job is, you have to charge these customers accordingly. So that's why your range is what it is. All right. So let's go back to big and bulky real quick. And then obviously, hold on. Obviously, your price point for your pay scale, is going to be based on the stop. Like when you're paying someone for curbside, and there is a different the scope of work is different. All right, depending on if it's curbside, threshold, room of choice, a white glove. the pay scale to your helper or to your crew has to fluctuate as well. You can't give them a flat. You can't pay a person or a team the same for a curbside as you would pay for a white glove, right? Obviously, if it's a white glove and let's say it's an elliptical or um a elliptical or a treadmill, this scale of pay, right, is going to be different from something that they're just dropping at the curb. All right, so if you're getting, let's say $50 for a stop, and let's say you're not on a truck, you got a team, you're paying $50 a stop for this, then you have to look to see what your costs are, right? And you might have to say, you know what, the company's going to have to make $15 to $20 on this. So let's say you pay the driver 20, and let's say you pay the helper 15. So now your labor cost is $35, right? Company's making $15. All right. Or let's say you pay 20 and 20. However your pay scale is, that's what you have to determine, right? A lot of the deliveries that we used to do curbside, after the labor, the company would make somewhere between $10 and $20, on average about $15 a stop. All right. So if I had a truck go out and it had 10 stops, then that truck to the company would make about $150. All right. And that's fine because I'm operating at scale. All right. So if you got one truck, then this is probably not going to work for you. And this is why I say that today, in today's times, 26-foot box truck is really, you got to be on the truck. Right. Now, if you're on the truck and you're driving on a $50 per stop basis, you're paying your helper $15 a stop. You're making $35 a stop. You're still making $350 at the end of the day. If you say you got 10 stops, right? Obviously, if you're doing more white glove, depending on the scope of each stop, you're not going to do that many stops, right? Especially if there's assemblies involved, right? Because you might spend an hour and a half, 2 hours on one treadmill. All right. Now let's go back to big and bulky for labor. Big and bulky. All right, so we said $60 to $75, right, a stop, right? So boom, you want to kind of configure 50% of that is going to go to your labor. All right, if you got a crew and let's say they got 10 stops, all right, and let's say they got 10 stops, right, and you're going at an average of $60 a stop, right? And you're not on the truck, you want to try to make at least 40%, 50 to 40% of that. So you might want to pay your driver 25, right? See, and that's the thing. You're not going to probably be able to make 50%. So it's going to all come back to the same thing like we talked about on the other end. If you're in a market, a big market, you might have to pay your driver 25 and then your helper $15 a stop. All right, so now you're paying $40 a stop to your labor. The company is making $20 a stop. All right, so boom, if you got 10 stops a day, on average, you're making about $200 per truck a day. Now, that's not, accounting, if you got a truck note, you got insurance and fuel. One of these big and bulky mom and pop local accounts, truck is pretty much going to be in a specific vicinity. You're not really going to be going too far outside, so you should be fine. So even if you walk away at the end of the day after your cost with $100, if you're not on the truck, see, if you're on the truck, it's a different ball game. All right, but I'm giving you these scenarios if you're not on the truck. Because so many people, I'm just gonna put two guys on the truck. So even at the end of the day, after costs associated with you make $100 a day, then that's cool. If you're on the truck, now you got rid of this right here. So now you paying $150 total a day, boom, for labor, right? And if you're averaging let's say on average 10 stops, you're making, it's a different ball game. It's best to scale and remove yourself once you get to that third truck. About 3 trucks you can remove because you got enough volume to kind of add up to make it worth your while to remove yourself off the truck. One truck, you're not really going to make no money if you're not on the truck. Unless you're doing moving. You can put 2 guys on the truck, you're making $50 an hour off the labor plus your truck fees. Why? Because you're charging the customer for everything, right? It's a little bit different when you're doing OTR, you're doing curbside, you're doing big and bulky. So I would go this route, being on the truck. You see more money that way. And then even after, your expenses and shit like that, you still probably can walk away with somewhere between $250 to $300. So Great Polo. Yeah, one of them attacking right now. Can't see much cars. It's nighttime there. It's getting ugly in the Middle East. Damn again. Market dropping. Iran attacked 30 minutes ago. We knew that was coming because they said they was going to attack. All right, so boom. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? You said, so you always charge up if you're going through threshold and especially up a flight of stairs. Good breakdown, because some customers think if you deliver something, they expect you to put it anywhere for free. So if you're going into a home and it's a threshold means threshold. You're just walking it past the threshold. I don't care if it's the back door threshold, the front door threshold. Room of choice is room of choice. If the room is upstairs, then you don't charge an additional for going upstairs. You just have a room of choice fee. If room of choice fee is $50, if the room is on the main level, $50. If it's up flight of stairs, the bedroom's a bi-level home, still $50. If it's going downstairs, $50. Shout out to Eric Griffin, Joliet representing. Fonzo the Trucker, what's going on? I work for a company that would sell hotel mattresses and furniture and pictures to motels after the hotel would do new renovations to their rooms. Yeah, I remember when tube TVs was going out and flat screens was coming in the early 2010s. I used to get a lot of calls from companies because they were giving them away to go pick up all those old tube TVs. Yeah, whenever hotels and shit refurbish, they sell all of those stuff. Some will give it away. Some will post an ad and say, hey, 150 flat screen TVs or 150 mattresses. First come, first serve. Need a truck, But it all depends. Who would I run with if I was brand new again? What, in Final Mile? If I was brand new again, I was doing Final Mile, I would, whoever got the IKEA contract, because it's the easiest big and bulky work to do. Simple. You talking about OTR stuff. What up, Andre? What's going on? Just chimed in. They moved me 750, one bedroom to Hyde Park. That's about average. But getting 3 moves consistently costs money. Factor in reschedules and cancellation, or everybody wants. No. Getting 3 moves consistently doesn't cost money. Where are you getting that from? Man, listen, in all my years in business, cancellations isn't really a thing in moving. And here's the reason why. A person knows if they're moving or not, right? Their rent went up 5%, their, whatever the case may be that they're moving. It's rare that a person books a move and then cancels. Now, do most people want the morning move? Yes, most people want the morning move that have moved before, and they understand that, if you book that afternoon or that evening move, it's a 90% chance the truck is going to be late. Why? Because there's going to be at least a move or two before you, and somewhere along the day, that truck is gonna get caught up somewhere and gonna be running behind. Right? But once you build your clientele up and you get yourself out there, you start scheduling. Listen, as it gets closer to the end of the month, first of the month, those people who calling, they're already calling other people. They're already getting the same shit. We're booked, we're booked, we're booked, we're booked, we're booked. Right? You give a person a window. Here's how you do it. If it's an elevator, don't take no elevator moves in the afternoon or the evening. Right? None. If you get an elevator, do it in the morning. If a person has an elevator and you got one truck and you already got a morning move book, then you need to push them out a day before, a day after. If they can't do it, then you can't do it. Right? Because your afternoon and your evening move, you can't give them a specific time. You can't give them a specific time. Why? Because you already going to be on the move. You're going to be on the move. You know a one bedroom should take you anywhere from 2 to 4 hours, but you don't know what obstacles you're going to be met with when you get there. So if that person's elevator starts at 12 and they got an elevator from 12 to 2, you can't guarantee that person in the afternoon that you're going to be exactly at 12. So what I learned way back in the day is I either got to put that move on another truck. If you got more trucks, then you have more opportunity to keep that customer. But if you only have one truck, it's nothing you can do. Because you can tell that customer, yeah, and this is where a lot of people fuck up at. They tell them, yeah, because they don't want to let the customer go. They're looking at that money, but it's always going to be another move, especially if it's the end of the month, first of the month. You're going to get another call. Facts. I'd rather turn that customer away than be late, and then they going on Yelp and they going on all these funny websites saying we was 2-3 hours late, even though it's not our fault. So if you only got one vehicle, you need to book all your elevators first thing in the morning, because now you can give them an exact time. Man, what time does your elevator start? 8? All right, we'll be there 8. We'll be there at 7:45, 7:30. But once you get rid of that elevator move, your afternoon and your evening move, you get them 3 to 4 hour windows. Boom. You start your day at 8. Your first move is at 8. You got a 1 bedroom. All right, boom. You know the pickup, the drop off, it's a first to a first. You should be done somewhere within 4 hours. Boom. So your next window should be somewhere between 12 and 3, 12 and 4. All right. So your afternoon move, hey, you guys got any availability May 1st? Yeah, we got an afternoon, we got an evening slot. The afternoon window is from 12 to 3, arrival window. All right. The evening arrival window is going to be somewhere between 4 and 7. All right, yeah, that afternoon I'll take it. It's a walk up of first to a third. Right? Boom. So now, boom, you book that, right? Boom. All right. So now that evening window, now when somebody calls, look, we only got a evening window left. Now you can push that window back. Boom. All right, we got a 5 to 8. Because there's a possibility now you're not going to get there at the beginning of that window, because you know you moving that afternoon from a first to a third. And you know that third floor is going to take a little bit more time because you got to run up 3 flights of stairs. And after that third move, you're going to be sweaty. You're going to have to stop at the gas station and get some water and all that shit. Right? Boom. So now you giving that person a 5 to 8 window. You said, damn, 8 o'clock? Yeah, 8 o'clock. Listen, back in the day when we was first getting started, when I was out there, we was doing moves at 8, starting moves at 8, 9, 10, 11. Call me and say, man, my movers didn't show up. All right, we on this last move. Text me the address. And once we get done with this move, I'm going to call you. Are you guys going to come? Because I already got stood up, man. I had a move scheduled for 9 this morning, and these guys didn't show up, and I've been calling movers all day, and everybody is booked. Listen, I got to be out of here. My lease is up at midnight. Somebody's moving into the apartment first thing in the morning. We coming. Let us finish this move. Text me your address. As soon as we finish this move, I'm going to call you. It's going to be a premium, though. How much? Man, I'm going to talk to you when I call you. You want me to start a move at 9, 10 o'clock at night, and I still got to be back up at 6 in the morning, and this move could go to 1, 2, 3 in the morning. You got to pay me. So booking 3 moves consistent don't cost. I don't see where it costs money yet, because you're not paying for anything. The customer paying you a truck fee. They're paying for the labor. You're paying for your material within the cost of the truck fee. And people rarely book moves because their leases is up. They got to move. If they're booking a move, 9 times out of 10, they've already signed the lease for the new place. They've already gave the management company, the leasing company, their 60-day notice that they was moving out. The leasing company has already took a moving fee from the new tenant. Like, these places ain't sitting on the market days and days and days. If you give them a 60-day, man, that apartment going on the market, it's out of there. Inventory is low. Just because a person want an 8 or a 9 move don't mean you can't. This is where your salesman skills come in at. If you're booked, then you have to offer them what you have. The only way you're going to turn them away is if they got an elevator. If they got an elevator, don't book an elevator move in the afternoon and the evening if you only got one truck. Book all your elevators in the morning. And that's how you do it. Turn it away. Another one's going to come. Trust me. I hope y'all having a blessed night. Mark, thanks for taking your time to hit us with some more nice about the game. Boom. Appreciate you. All right. My heart hurts for Chicago people to pay that much in gas. Man, I don't even know. I just pull up and pump. I don't even look at the price, man. Ain't shit you can do about it. Using thumbtack mainly website, slowly picking up leads. I get people saying they need to get canceled because because apartment's not ready. What city you in? See, we don't really get that issue here. What city you in? $10% off a $99 special? No. The only $99 specials I ever ran, I ran a ad campaign back in the day, like 2011, 2012, 2013. And that wouldn't even work today. I was doing $99 couch moves. A lot of people would buy sofas on Craigslist, like used sofas. So I would do $99 couch moves. In my market, I wouldn't do that today. It'll be $150 in today's time. But $99 is couch moves. No 10%. It's a one item. It's a special $99 holler. I mean, if you in a market like you in St. Louis, you could do $99 couch moves down there all day long within the city. I can't do that up here. It's the cost of living is too high. It'd be $150 up here. But $99, no 10% off. No 10% off, no delivery. So if it's a flat fee, no 10%. Hourly, you can offer a 10% student discount. You can offer like a 5 to 10% military discount. So you want to offer the discounts to people that are in communities, right? So boom, military, right? Because a lot of times those people be staying on those military bases, right? We move people on and off military bases and then they spread the word. Boom. Colleges, right? Because they spread the word amongst their peers in college, right? A lot of the time the parents are paying for those moves, right? We used to get moves all the time and I couldn't understand for the life of me, why all these parents calling me from the University of Chicago? And then one parent told me, man, you must have moved a parent, and we have a form here for parents, for vendors. I think I told this story before. So, a lot of the kids that go here, aren't from here. We live in other states. So there's a form that the parents use that when our kids need specific vendors, a parent will put a review. Hey, try this moving company. They moved my daughter. We paid them over the phone with a credit card. We didn't have to come out there. They're not creepy. The guys are really, really cool. And you should try them. She posted us in the forum. So now this is a parent's forum looking for vendors. So now all the parents are seeing my company. And this is why so many parents were calling me to, move their kids around campus with the University of Chicago. So you want to do that with communities. Then give them 10% off. Why? College students are broke. It's a marketing technique. 10% ain't going to hurt you. If it's a $300 move, you're taking $30 off. Whoop-de-doo. But the word going to spread. Why? Hey, these guys are doing moves for a really affordable price. And here's they got a student discount. You're going to move the whole school. So that $30 that, let's say that 10% that you're knocking off, you're making that up in the volume of moves that you're doing within that school because the word is getting spread. So that 10% is creating a domino effect of word of mouth referrals for you. So no 10% for deliveries, only for hourly. If it's a flat, let's say IKEA pickup delivery, flat fee couch delivery, anything that's flat, no 10%. 10% campaign only for hourly things. Shout out to Jonathan, appreciate you. Hey Jonathan, I don't even know what gas is, man. I ain't even hold you. I ain't looked at the gas prices and I don't remember when. I just pull in the gas station when I need gas and just pump it. I couldn't even tell you, bro. I swear I don't even know what the gas is here. Mark, brand new 26-foot box truck, Ford F650 dealership can't get it sold. I can pick it up for $62K. Any thoughts? Leave it there. Leave it right where it's at. Leave it right where it's at. It's a reason why it's sitting there. So why would you be the person to go get it? $62,000 for a Ford. First of all, I wouldn't buy a brand new Ford F650. Second of all, I wouldn't buy a brand new box truck. Period. That truck 2.5 years ago, they want 100, 125 for it. Now they want half of that. So if they can't sell it for 62, that should just let you know where we're at in the market right now. I don't know what you're trying to do, Costas. I believe you're trying to stay local. I would go get a used box truck. It's a guy that I used to go to when I was building up my fleet out in Crystal Lake. I can give you his information. He got a commercial lot. Sells trucks and buses and stuff like that out in Crystal Lake. I can give you his information. I would go used. How can get leads for moving company? Thumbtack. Go on one of my Thumbtack videos. In the description, there should be a link, a code down there, a link to a code. Use that code to get $100 off your first $100 in leads free. Yeah, about 2 years ago, they was going for about 125. What places can I use a truck and a trailer? You talking about a pickup truck and like a cargo trailer? Would have never thought about the elevator thing. What elevator thing? I gave a story about an elevator. I talked about an elevator. What elevator thing? All right. So if you got a pickup truck and like an enclosed trailer, like a 6x12 or a 7x14 or like an 8x20, I would say focus primarily on long distance moves. I would target long distance moves for those trailers. I would focus on that. I don't know what size trailer you got, but I know the specs for our 6x12, 7x14, 8x20. I would focus on long distance moving. What's your opinion on the Isuzu FTR 26-footer? Not a fan of it. Not a fan of Isuzu trucks. Oh, okay, yeah. Don't book any. No. Primarily because you're gonna have to give a window. So most elevator buildings that you have to reserve the elevator, they're gonna give you a window. Most are gonna give you 2 hours. If it's like a Studio One building, they're gonna give you 2 hours. Maybe a 2-bedroom, you might get 3 or 4. Some buildings that give you 3 or 4 for a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom, right? But for a studio 1-bedroom, they're only giving you 2 hours. So if your window is 12 to 2, the customer's window is 12 to 2, and you got to move in the morning, and it goes over, and you don't get there to 1 or 1:30, and let's say it's the first of the month or the last day of the month, and the elevator is booked all day, at 2:00, that other moving company may be on time. And then when they get there, that customer had to pay for that elevator. Like, you got to pay, like, here, I got to pay $450 to reserve the elevator. And I don't get that $450 back. So if I get a delivery, I got to pay $450 because they're going to block off an elevator, which is going to inconvenience people, right? And I don't get it back. So if I miss my window, I miss my window, because guess what? At 2:00, if the other moving company is on time that's moving the person out or in, they only got 2 hours, because at 4, somebody else's has the window. So if you get there late, you lose the elevator. You know how many elevators we done took from people? You know how many elevators we lost because we were late and we got there and another crew was there? All right, it's talking to a customer because you late and they missed their elevator. That doesn't feel good. And that's the reason, and that's how I learned, okay, well, guess what? We not booking elevators. Yeah, every other company does it, and every other company is late. 9 times out of 10, when you're in the movie business, you're going to be late for your afternoon or your evening move, period. Definitely going to be late for your evening move. Definitely. The later in the day it gets, the further behind you get. You get fatigued. You start running into rush hour traffic. It's very rare that you're going to have a seamless day. So if there is an elevator, it's always best to book it in the morning. If you got multiple trucks and all your trucks are booked, have elevators booked in the morning, then me personally, I stopped taking elevator moves in the afternoon and evening years ago. Won't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth the headache. It's not worth the risk of being late. It's not worth the negative review because you're late. Even if you do an exceptional job, customer put, these guys were 2.5 hours late, but they did an exceptional job. But because I was late, we had to fight for the elevator, blah, 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 blah. And then don't let it be like a 2 elevator situation where they moving from an elevator to an elevator and they have to reserve both elevators. So now they got to move out, scheduled from 12 to 2, and then they got to move in, scheduled from 2 to 4, right? So now you 2 hours late, you get into the move out at 2. Now you in the clock for the place you should be moving in. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. There's always going to be another move, especially if you live in a big market. People going to need to move, all right? You book those walk-ups for the afternoon and the evening. Let another company do the dun-to-dun and book it and be late. Let them deal with the headache. Hey, Mar, I appreciate your knowledge about buying a new truck, and you saying new vehicles can break down. I just wouldn't buy a new truck, period. Listen, out of all the trucks I bought, I only bought 2 new ones. The first new truck I bought is because Select gave me a downstate account every day, and I just felt more comfortable sending a new truck 2-3 hours away daily. When they said, here, you can have this account because we're having a hard time with the contractor, you're running 2 other trucks for us a day, you're consistent, you got a fleet of trucks, you got a real operation, you're not an independent contractor. So we know you're going to make sure that that truck is there because you're a business owner, you about your bread. These independent contractors, they kind of iffy, and you know, we do nationwide delivery, and there's people in rural areas that need delivery. So once they promised me that account, I went out and bought a new truck for it, right? But that's why I bought a new truck. I wouldn't buy a new truck to do local delivery. I wouldn't even buy a new truck to go OTR. I know the costs that are associated with running this business. I know what the margins are. I would do my due diligence, and I would take me a mechanic, and I would go find me a good pre-driven commercial vehicle. because I want to maximize my profit margin. I don't want to pay $3,000-$4,000 for a truck note and then another $3,000 for insurance. Nah, I want to go write a check for 20 grand. And be done with it. You know? So, to each his own. I haven't had any major issues. With all the trucks I bought that were used, no issues. Even the 2 trucks I got now, no issues. No issues. No major issues. You're going to have your brakes and, you might need a radiator here, water pump, some shit like that, whatever, alternator, tie rods, front end work here, shit like that, but no powertrain issues. I've never had no powertrain issues. Why? Because I always took a mechanic with me. I would go to a truck dealer lot. I never bought a truck from an individual. I would always go to a dealer. There's a truck dealer here, way out in the suburbs. And I got my pick of the litter of 30, 40, 50 trucks. So we would go through each truck one by one, as many as we could. We would test drive them all day. And then at the end of the day, my mechanic would tell me which ones he thought were the best. And then I would pick from there. I spent the day at the dealership. I didn't rush it. I wanted to pick the best truck. And because of me doing my due diligence, investing a little bit of money into sourcing a good truck, by going to a dealer where I have an array of trucks to choose from, versus just buying from an independent person that I see on the marketplace, it's a little bit different. I got more options. So no, I would never buy a new truck. Never. Unless I had to sport for a specific reason, like the reason that I gave. And I told this story before. I lied. I have had a powertrain issue with one truck. And guess what truck it was? It was truck 4. The first new truck I bought. The trans went out. At 80,000 miles, the trans went out. So I lied. I had one powertrain issue. And it wasn't for a used truck. The first truck I bought back in 2013, I still own that truck today. The second truck I bought, I sold a year and a half ago. The third truck I bought, I still own that truck today. The fourth truck I bought was brand new, and then at 80,000 miles, the transmission went out. Never had a transmission issue, engine issue, nothing serious like that in any used truck I bought. So, yeah, I wouldn't buy no new truck, me personally, but to each his own. Hey, Mark, how do I get on Thumbtack? I do have a pick truck, and I can start doing moves with my son. He ain't doing ish. Pippi put that link up a few comments above yours. This one right here. Just click that link, and then you're gonna see that video, and then in the description it should be a link to get your first 100 leads free. Just use my link, and then your first 100 leads will be free. Go in the comment section, that comment Pippi put up. Actually, I'll pin it to the top. So you got a dump trailer and it's there and 5 miles. So if you got a dump trailer, you need to do clean outs. You need to do basement clean outs, garage clean outs, demo work. Basement clean outs, garage clean outs, demo work. 1-800-GOT-JUNK. You need to do a junk removal business. You can't work with Final Mile with a dump trailer that's open. It has to be enclosed. You need a truck. 16, 26 footer, depending on the company. Primarily 26 footer. A lot of companies ain't gonna work with you with a 16 foot nowadays. AIT will, but for the most part, other companies won't. Dump trailer is open. You can't do anything with a dump trailer. But what I told you, clean outs, demo work, junk removal. So if you got an open trailer, dump trailer, I would start a junk removal business. Yeah, Costas, me personally, OTR, I would still try to source me a good pre-driven vehicle. Me personally. I mean, 62,000 for a new vehicle, it's not bad, but I just, I mean, your teach is on. I mean, if you're in it and you think this is what you're going to be really, really doing and you feel like you're going to get your money's worth, but me, I would find, I mean, you're in a big market. There's plenty of trucks here. I would go look at Enterprise used trucks. I would go look at Penske used trucks. I mean, you're in a big market. I would go check out my guy out there in Crystal Lake. I think there's plenty of trucks. What the heck is going on? Why is my... Hold on a second, my mouse freezing. Hold on a second, let's see something. I'm just gonna get an idea. Give me 1 second. Let's see. I'm gonna go 25 miles out the city. And let's do this. Let's do lowest. Now, obviously, level ones are better. Level twos are in the middle. Level threes are the worst. But, you know, these are the prices for trucks now. So here goes a good moving truck for somebody with a side door. 33,000. Is this okay? Well, but I mean, here, look, you got a 2018 Freightliner, 227,000 miles, 33,000. That's half the cost. Level two, level two, level two, level two. These are all level twos. Let's see, level one. Here's some level ones, 38,000. 2019 International Freightliner. Look like they've been selling trucks. They had some cheaper trucks last time I looked. 2018, 268, 43,000, 191,000 miles. You're saving a little over $20,000 right there. So, I mean, you take your mechanic, you go to some of these places, you see what they had to offer, and you run 191,000 miles ain't nothing. 191,000 miles ain't nothing, man. You're saving 20-something thousand. 191,000 miles, level one, out there in Melrose Park, man. So, yeah, me personally, I would jump in that pre-driven thing. I just bought a 2015 Ram ProMaster 2500 159 WB navigation, 30,000 miles for 36 in New York 2 weeks ago. Best deal I could find. At 500-mile rate. Yeah, you in New York, so price is gonna be a little bit higher out there. Yeah, that 36 for 2015. Yeah, that is kind of pricey though. So the transmission went out like that. Yep, went out at 80,000 miles. So if I get a 26-foot enclosed trailer, what final mile company should I? No company is going to give you a contract with a trailer. You got to get a truck. You can't back into a dock with a enclosed trailer. An enclosed trailer is not dock height. You're not going to be able to back into the dock. You can't do any commercial contracted final mile work with an enclosed trailer. You have to have a truck. The most you can do with an enclosed trailer is moving, primarily long distance. If it's a car enclosed trailer, you could haul cars and move. You could utilize it in a multi different ways, you know. Your pickup truck 3500 Cummins, that's you got a Ram then. I mean, your pickup truck sound good. It's just the trailer. You know, you can't do final mile with an enclosed trailer. You need a truck. It has to be dock height. Got to be dock height. So they're not gonna let you. You can't back into a dock with an enclosed trailer. So unfortunately, if I had 3500 Ram Pro Max, not Ram Pro Max, 3500 Ram like you do, probably a dually, I would get the enclosed trailer. I would make sure it was you could spec out for a car so that ramp could, you know, hold a car weight where you could transport cars enclosed, at least a one car enclosed. So I guess you're talking about maybe an 8x20 or 8x26, 8x20, right? And then you can also utilize it for long distance moving. I would focus on the long distance moving. You got the truck for it, the trailer for it, and you can run undetected. And that would be my lane if I had that equipment that you got. I would focus on that primarily. You're not gonna be able to do final mile. Truck ain't dock height. And then for the dump trailer, like I said, just do junk removal, demo, clean outs. So all right. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Any more questions? What time is it? 9:13. I started at what? 6:30. 7:30, 8:30. So 2.5 hours. All right. So if there ain't no more questions, I appreciate you. I don't know if we're gonna do the call-in show tomorrow, man. I might take a week off. It depends on how I feel. I might take a week off. So if I decide to do it, obviously you guys will get the notification. But after last week, I think I want to chill out a week. The call-in shows go too long. So if I do it, you guys will get the notification. If not, then we'll pick up on that next week. If there's no more questions, then I'm going to let you guys go because I am sleepy. I'm about to go to bed. All right. Peace out, man. Y'all be safe. Oh, and then take seriously what I said at the beginning. I did see somebody put up that one of those countries just attacked. So, you know, that's going to, with everything that's going on with the economy right now, that's also going to affect it in a negative way as well. All right. So be mindful of everything that I said at the beginning. Now is the time that if you are out there making money and opportunities are presenting themselves to you, now ain't the time to really turn work away. Now is the time to double down and take as much work as possible because you want to have cash on hand in case we do go into a real economic collapse. You want to be able to have some cash on hand so you can buy assets. Listen, I'm telling you, this shit repeats itself. Anytime there's an economic collapse, the shit tanks, and within 4 to 6 weeks, we're looking at all-time highs. And this is when new millionaires are made, but you got to have cash on hand. The people who had cash on hand during the 2008 housing market crash were the people that were able to buy 2 flats, 3 flats, 4-unit buildings for cash, $20,000. Those are the people that are very rich off real estate today. When COVID collapsed, the people who had cash on hand, they were able to buy stocks for a very low price. They were able to buy Bitcoin for $3,000 because it crashed. Those are the people that are rich today off stocks and crypto. And if they're not rich, they're extremely well off because they have a portfolio that reflects an individual who took advantage of a market crash and they bought assets very low and ran it up. History is always going to repeat itself. You can go back 100 years. Any economic crash, within weeks, we're looking at all-time highs. All right? So, don't be the person that's out here complaining and struggling, talking about how bad shit is, because this ain't bad. This is an opportunity. Whenever there's shit like this, I don't look at it as a bad thing. You look at it as an opportunity. This is an opportunity to run it up. All right? Don't be the person that, I'm making fun of. Be the person that's running it up with me. On that note, I'm out.